what is going on with the bunker? How did we see it, Jimmy, over the weekend?
Well, look, we appreciate that there's difficult decisions to make, but there's some that were made by the bunker that are unacceptable to the players that work so hard. It's unacceptable and not fair to the coaches that dedicate so much of their time. And it's not acceptable to the fans that schedule their weekends around the team's fixtures, that have their tipping competitions, that have their super coach competitions, that weekends, and all those stakeholders, all their weekends determine positively or negatively, happy, sad, on the result of their team. And for our game, again, I accept there are some decisions that are 50-50, that will, cause debate and almost split and very difficult to decide. And there's grey areas in the game, but there's decisions that were made on the weekend that were clearly one way or the other, and they got them completely wrong.
Do you see it that way too, Gordy?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of those decisions, I think, if I'm a player, there's Lesniak when he's up in the air, he was denied the opportunity. He's over the line, he gets a great grab. If he doesn't get tackled, it's a try.
Let's have a look at it, mate. You talk us through this and give us your thoughts on this.
It's a great leap. He's fantastic in the air. We watch him doing it every week, so he's consistent at doing it. He gets a great grab. He's tackled in the air. So is he denied the opportunity? I've watched games where players are so far away from the ball, we don't know that they're ever going to get to it, and they give it a penalty try. He's up in the air, he's over the try line. That's the one I don't understand.
For me, that particular incident, it's either a penalty try or a sin bin.
Yes.
It's not penalty sufficient.
It's a penalty try, Jimmy. That's not great. It's a penalty try. It was illegally taken out in the air.
I agree. I would happily see a penalty try or a sin bin.
What I'm going to say is, what we're talking about now in the videos we're looking at, it's nothing new. In this same studio last Monday night, we were blowing up about Appy Coruscant try. We were blowing up about the young Dolphins fullback when we saw the tape there. Well, yeah, try time.
But then,
well, you want another one?
Yeah,
come on. But what I'm saying is, it hasn't come to a head this weekend. It's a problem with the bunker, and I can understand referees making decisions, but we've spent millions on this facility.
But there's more. Let's have a look, Buzz. All right, the Sami one. Let's have a look at his no try. And you talk about Coruscant's one. It was a try, sorry. Coruscant's wasn't. This was very similar. Thoughts on this?
Well, he didn't think he scored.
Look at his face after it when they award the try. He's laughing. It's an embarrassment laugh.
He didn't know. Obviously, if that's a kick and he goes and he gets a finger on it, it's a try. But he loses a bit of.
That wasn't a try, right?
But then Coruscant last week, I said it was because he loses control and he gets it. You don't need to have control of the football because if there's a kick in, you need downward pressure. Was there any downward pressure?
No.
There wasn't any downward pressure?
No, I didn't see it. No, not with his hand on top of the football. That
was the grip of the football.
That was not a try.
Yeah, I don't think that was a try.
It's
the reaction of the football. But how do we fix it then?
What I was trying to say about the bunker, there's millions of dollars worth of 4K technology. There's not just one referee in there. They've got people who help them and go back and look at things.
Buzz, can you tell us how many people are in there?
There's no excuse.
Can you tell us how many people
I don't know, Gordon, to be exact. I was there years ago and there were probably half a dozen people in there.
To me, to fix it, every referee that's not refereeing should be in there. Right, if you're part of the game, you're part of the game. We just watched Dale Finucane, he's just retired. Get a couple of the recently retired players to go in there to go, hey, that bloke's milking it because they know the trends on what they're coached these days. But why isn't every referee sitting in there and helping out their colleagues on the field?
Well, I think
and Graham Annesley comes out every Monday and has to explain it. If he's the chief, why isn't he sitting in there?
Undoubtedly, the bunker is a good thing for our game.
It is.
It's brought in to get more decisions right more often. And that's what it generally does. But recently, and this weekend in particular, there's a number of high-profile incidents.
Here's another one, Jimmy.
That was deemed a strip.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
It's mind-boggling.
They've had some howlers, and you're right. Like we all admit the bunkers. Well, maybe not you, Buzz. You question it. I think the bunker has done a really good job, and it needs Well, it doesn't
You
mean
can't say that when you look in a video like this,
the
bro.
weekend was disgrace. It was
And the
terrible.
weekend before that,
It's
and the
been
weekend
bad.
before that.
It's been bad.
You guys
So
want,
you're,
you want to
are
put...
you saying we shouldn't have it at all?
No, Gordy wants to put 8 different referees in there. One of the reasons we have problems, in the old days they had 3 or 4 and they'd do all weekend. At least we're getting consistency with interpretations in there when there weren't 8 different people.
But Buzz, if all the referees are in there, they're the ones out there, they're the ones that look.
But they're not doing the job properly, Gordon.
Well, who can? If they're the ones that are officiating our game, we're letting them down. If they can't do the job,
Well,
if they
why
don't
do
know
we
the rules,
find it so easy? And we're not under pressure. We don't have to make a decision in 30 seconds. But we can see quite clearly on this screen they're making errors.
And the non-sin binning of Aiden Caesar, which caused controversy in that game. And I think, bringing other people in from different backgrounds of the game, like coaches, like players, we need an official in there, no doubt. I personally would like to see a 3-section panel. So and they can't communicate with one another. You've got a former coach, a former player, and a current day match official, and they all have their say. That decision goes to somebody else, and they take majority rule.
I don't mind the idea. I think it's a fair idea.
They take majority rule, and also the people in there.
The selection's the most important thing, Jimmy. It's who you pick. Like we can go and get ex-players, and we've done it before, but you got to get the best of the best. You got to pay them more. You got to pay someone
Because you incentivise people to do it.
Significant
Absolutely.
wage, and you go to one of the most respected, best judges in the game, which isn't always, they are out there. They are out there.
you think players would know the trends that are happening, whether they look, whether they're taught. With all the new wrestling, I don't know the wrestling moves. I've been that far out of the game, so I wouldn't know if I'm sitting in there.
Yeah.
But if you get a recently retired player that's honest, and you look at Finucane and Luke
Finucane's a
Keary,
good
these
example.
guys,
Good example.
tried
and if they
players,
come in,
Gordy.
Yeah, we said that.
I know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like the
Getting
ones
the
that have
right
been
one, Buzz.
retired. But the latest retired players would know the trend sitting with other players.
The scary thing is, Gordon, it's not even about trends. These are just howlers. I get what you're saying in some of those points of conjecture, and
Yes,
we can see
because
what's
they're the
going on there.
50-50s that they'll
But
get
some
right.
of these were just wrong. Yeah.
Well, Munster milking it and falling over, I thought he milked it for the Titans try, right? So I'm sitting in there. I'm a Titans fan, but I think he milked it. A current player would go, yes, we're trained to do that. He could have went out.
All right, we
They're
mentioned
the decision.
the Caesar one was pretty bad as well. And NRL head of football, Graham Ennersley, says Aiden Caesar should have been sin-binned, but not for the hip drop.
Should have been sent to the bin. In my view, the bunker was focused entirely on determining whether it was a hip drop or not. They cleared it as a hip drop, but they didn't pay enough attention to the other dangerous aspect of this tackle. It should have been a minimum of a sin bin, but not because it was a hip drop. Some people might say, well, you're just talking semantics because it was a dangerous tackle and it should have been binned anyway. Agreed. I'm not arguing that.
Okay, was this a hip drop or not?
Looks like one to me.
You drop your weight on it. It's whether he drops his weight. He drops his...
That's a hip drop.
Here's a test, right? If Aiden Caesar gets sent for 10 minutes for a hip drop, and we go to the Tigers press conference and we ask Benji Marshall, does he think Aiden Caesar deserved 10 minutes for the hip drop tackle? Well, his answer is, yeah.
Yes.
There you go. It's a hip drop.
Yeah, definitely a version of the hip drop. Should have been sin-binned.
Was there anyone in the game that thought he shouldn't have been sin-binned watching it? Like anyone?
But again,
Apart from the officials.
you can't blame the referee for that. The
It's the bunker
referee has a bunker there
But can the referee make the call? Like just
No, well,
they can't.
a
They have to. Do they
referee-
have to wait for the
They
bunker?
can.
But no,
They
but
can.
hold
They
on.
can go, hold on, that's a hip
I'm just
drop. You're in the
asking
bin
the
for
question,
10.
Yeah, what I'm saying is they'll always use the safety valve and get someone else with the great screen to have another look at it.
Well, Isaac Tango,
Yeah.
less than 48 hours previously at the very same venue was sin-binned for a hip drop, which is almost exactly the same as what happened there.